Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. So the last 48 hours have been absolutely insane when it comes to royal news. The lies, the deceit, the betrayal. It plays out on every single TV channel. Every time I switch on the radio, someone is discussing this awful crime that has been committed by a much loved member of the royal family. I said much loved member, not them. So what is this heinous crime and who has committed it? Well, it's none other than the Princess of Wales, who released a photograph of herself with her children taken by her husband, Prince William, on Mother's Day. You have to have been living under a rock to have not seen or heard this targeted campaign, which is little more than a lynch mob by the media. It has become a feeding frenzy. Now, as much as Meghan and Harry have cried and said they've been persecuted by the media, I am seeing the Princess of Wales being attacked by all corners. Mark my words, this is little more than a modern day witch hunt. Catherine has been part of our royal family for a couple of decades. She's never set a foot wrong. She's kind, she's compassionate, she's caring, she's sweet, she's a loving mother, a loving wife. There's very few people out there that can say anything negative about the Princess of Wales, about the way that she behaves, the way she comes across. Everyone who meets her seems to genuinely love her and have a great affection for her. So why is she suddenly the villain of this particular piece? Well, it's being touted as a fake photograph. Don't fall for that. It's not a fake photograph. It is not AI generated. This is the media trying to make it sound even more scandalous. It's about creating more drama over what is a non-story. I do not believe for 1 second that it's got anything to do with this photograph. Her true crime, the reason why the media are hounding her and circling her like vultures on a daily basis, is because she and Prince William have refused to bow down and to release her private medical information. This witch hunt started the moment we were told she was having surgery, and it has only increased with its intensity. This is a woman that announced in December that she was going in to have abdominal surgery. This is a woman that all she's ever asked for, these few 3 months of please can I have some privacy. She's never asked for anything else from members of the public or the media before. Yet the media has whipped up such a ridiculous frenzy, a mountain out of a molehill, that even royal fans, people that genuinely do actually like the royals, are joining in because they are now believing that the palace is hiding something sinister. This is what the media are doing. They are deliberately stirring the pot to make even royal fans think that there is something dreadfully wrong. They are feeding people's paranoia, and they are doing it to manipulate the royal fans to jump on this bandwagon, and it's all about pressuring the palace, the Prince and Princess of Wales, to disclose her private, personal medical history. We've heard people saying that not allowing an independent news photographer into their guarded world has now created problems. No, you are the ones stirring the pot. You are the ones creating the problem. Several huge news agencies around the world issued a kill order on the photograph to stop it from being circulated. So why the drama over this edited photograph? What was it that was so badly edited that most people didn't even notice until people on social media and armchair detectives started going through the photograph pixel by pixel? And you have to question the people behind it and why they were so fascinated and interested to do this. The newspapers, every single hour that went by, they found more and more mistakes. They were getting professionals to dissect this picture, as I said, pixel by pixel. Why? What was it over? Because a family portrait, Catherine's right hand was slightly blurred. Prince Louis was apparently crossing the wrong fingers. Yes, apparently you can only cross your fingers that way and that way. You know, people like us that can do it that way, or, you know, worse. Ooh, yes, it's all a big conspiracy. Then we've got the fact that Catherine's zip on her jumper is misaligned. It doesn't match. Charlotte's skirt looks awkward as she's sitting down on her mother's lap. Her sleeve is blurry. And there you have it. That is the big worldwide scandal. The longer term damage will be down to the issues of trust, we hear some people say. Chris Shipp, a flag in the wind, a royal reporter, that is definitely Team Sussex. He's even gone on further to ask for people that are horticulturists to come forward and explain what plant is in the background and is it in season. Yes, that's real. Some great journalistic research there. Could they have even been faking the tree behind them? Get a grip. This was not a formal official photograph released for proof of life. This was not a palace organised photograph where it's taken by professional photographers. This was quite simply a thank you from the Prince and Princess of Wales for all of the continued support that they have had during Catherine's recovery. It was Mother's Day. They released pictures every single time. We know that the Princess of Wales takes photographs herself, a keen photographer. When it was released, it was made clear that Prince William took the photograph of his wife and his children. The fact that she's at home recovering from surgery, perhaps they didn't want a random photographer in the house as she came outside and sat in the chair. They don't want intimate details being leaked to the press, and it's quite clearly obvious with this witch hunt that's going on. Can you blame them not wanting anyone to come into their family circle? But they took this photograph, and they've even had people now look at the metadata of this photograph that proves, oh, it was taken at Adelaide Cottage, that it was photo edited twice, once on Friday night, once on Saturday morning. The fact that they can find out this tiny little detail using the metadata creeps me out just a little bit, but in a way it does prove that there was nothing more sinister. It was taken at their home where they live, and it was a little bit of Photoshop that was used. It was a beautiful photograph that most people loved. Most people simply thought, oh, how lovely. Catherine's looking well. I hope that she's recovering well. That's nice. And then they got on with their day. Most normal people didn't blow up the image with a magnifying glass and then decide to dissect every single tiny minute detail. Even when the story broke that it had been edited, most normal people said they don't care. What photograph really is not edited that is released to us daily through the media, magazines, online, offline? What about our own phones? I edit pictures. I've got an app that removes images. I've got little things I can add backgrounds in. I can brighten up the sky. I mean, everybody can use Photoshop one way or another. It may not be the licensed Adobe Photoshop, but we can use all different editing apps. There are very few people in a world where we live in Instagram beautiful people, and when you catch them off guard when they're walking around, they often do not look like that. We can nip, we can tuck, we can shave, we can change hair colour, eye colour. We can do absolutely everything with the touch of our thumbs without even having to think about consulting a professional. You can even turn yourself into a broccoli if you so wish. I think it's very subtle personally. But the way the media have really torn into this simple family photograph that had a couple of tweaks done to it, it's absurd. It's like they're investigating a crime. Now, all of these stories that have come out have got progressively worse. They have intensified. And if you think that Catherine is completely sheltered from it, clearly she is not, because she felt the need to come forward and to put a statement through their Kensington Royal social media accounts where they posted their family picture. Catherine came forward and said, like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday caused. I hope everyone celebrating had a very happy Mother's Day. Well, I truly, sincerely hope that Catherine had a happy Mother's Day, because she was being dragged across the coals by Sunday evening after sharing a lovely, beautiful photograph of her with her children. People should be truly ashamed of themselves the way that they have behaved over this. So some people have demanded to know, why did Catherine edit her picture? Well, why does anyone edit their pictures? Because they want to present the best version of the photograph to the world. Wedding photographers or family portrait photographers, it's not unusual to splice together several images so you get all the children looking the right way. Same with weddings and with crowds. You want everybody to look good in the photograph. They splice it together so they end up with the best composite photograph at the end, and that is the one that they present to the world. It's not unusual. The fact is that someone dissected the metadata and showed the photograph was taken at Adelaide Cottage. It's been edited twice on Photoshop. That's it. There's nothing more sinister to it, and it actually does coincide and tie with what the Princess of Wales said in her statement. But still, no, there must be something more sinister going on. People had demanded for ages since that really intrusive paparazzi photograph had appeared. They demanded for ages, we need to see a photograph of the Princess of Wales. So they take a photograph and they release it to the public. It's not good enough. They absolutely dissect it and destroy it and spend 48 hours vilifying a family for posting a photograph that they had slightly edited. That's how ridiculous this storyline is. Then they demanded, the media were out for blood. They wanted the palace to explain why. So Catherine, in the recovery of her surgery, apologises for releasing a photograph. Well, she didn't apologise for releasing the photograph, but the confusion that it caused. She's apologised for giving the public and the media a photograph of her and her children, which is what they all wanted. But no, her explanation wasn't good enough. Now it's the betrayal, the lies. They are really stirring the pot. The fact is, Catherine issued a statement. She explained it makes sense. The metadata, the storyline, everything makes sense, but that is still not good enough. And you've got to start looking at the people that are pushing this narrative. It's not gone unnoticed that some of the biggest shouters and the biggest people pushing conspiracy theories are Harry and Meghan's fan base, trolls and supporters, and that sometimes does include certain royal reporters and media outlets. Now they are demanding that they release the original photographs. I can tell you now that even if Catherine released 5 photographs that she'd spliced together, they'd say it's not good enough. In fact, some people have already spoken out. I heard someone on the radio earlier saying it's too late for that. The trust has been broken. Apparently the damage is so deep now that it has fractured the public's relationship with the royal family forever. You know, the drama llamas are out in full force. Now I will play devil's advocate here. Was it perhaps a bad time for Catherine to practice with her photography and photoshopping skills rather? I would say yes, because obviously we know there's been a witch hunt on Catherine to do with this medical information since she disclosed that she was having an operation, that anything that they released was going to be completely dissected, let alone the first photograph, genuine photograph that we've seen of the Princess of Wales since she went into convalescence, as it were. Some people have said that Kensington Palace should have checked the photograph thoroughly, that this should have been done, they shouldn't have done that. But at the end of the day, has anyone just thought that they just didn't think that they were going to get dragged over hot coals over sharing a family photograph with the world when they did not have to? And to be honest with you, I think after the treatment that they've received from members of the public, from certain royal reporters and from media outlets, I wouldn't blame them if they never released a photograph to the world ever again in such a personal setting. Now, another thing that's irritating me, which as you could tell, I'm pretty irritated by this whole thing, is people saying, oh, Meghan would have been completely annihilated if Meghan had dared to post a photograph that had been edited. And I thought to myself, well, most of Meghan's pictures are completely edited, photoshopped. Ones that they released of Archie and Lily. That's not right, what's going on with the baby's feet or her fingers. What about the Miss Anne Harriman photographs that were taken of Meghan when she was announcing her pregnancy with Lily, with the tree of life? The fact that Miss Anne Harriman wasn't even there, he was in another country and they'd set up the iPad, it clearly shows that this would have been edited to enhance the picture, to give a photograph at the end of it with the best composite that Meghan and Harry would have been happy with to present to the world. This image from 2019, which was really badly photoshopped, this even had its own kill order put out on it. But the point is that these people are being absolute hypocrites by trying to stir up and saying, well, Harry and Meghan would have had it far worse. They don't have it far worse. They didn't have article after this 2019 kill order was put out. They didn't have 48 hours of people on the news consulting specialists, subsequent articles and news reports, absolutely destroying them and telling the world that they broke their trust. But sure, Harry and Meghan still somehow get weaved into this, that they are somehow victims of what is happening to the Princess of Wales. Thankfully, there are some newspapers out there and there are some media personalities that are saying, enough, stop, you are targeting her, leave her alone. But in the same breath, you've got people that are defenders of Harry and Meghan saying, no, she deserves it because the media did it to Meghan. And I'd like to throw this to a lot of you guys and say, Meghan had every opportunity when she appeared on Oprah and on the Netflix docuseries to provide evidence of where she was hounded by the UK public or by the British press. She had all of that time that she could have given as many receipts as Gayle King said to be shown. And you know what they showed on Oprah? A couple of doctored headlines which were mostly from foreign media press. And as for the photographs that Meghan and Harry used in Netflix to show that they were being hounded and targeted, one of them was from a Harry Potter film premiere. One of them was when Katie Price was attending Crawley Crown Magistrates Court. Harry and Meghan produced no evidence for Oprah or for Netflix because they have never been treated like that. The same as Catherine being hounded and chased down the streets when she was younger. Meghan has made many complaints that she was hounded, but yet again, not a single bit of evidence to back it up because it didn't happen. In my opinion, I believe that certain media outlets, certain news channels, TV personalities, royal reporters have behaved like a pack of hyenas circling their prey. I honestly do not believe that if the Princess of Wales released the original images that it would stop this lot. It would make them put down their pitchforks and their torches. I do not think that they really care about this edited Photoshop photograph being released. I think that it is down to the fact the Prince and Princess of Wales have cut the media off from disclosing Catherine's private medical information. They have basically circled the wagons and they are not letting them in. And if the media thought they were in with a hope in hell of getting in before, then I wouldn't blame Catherine and William if they never let them in again. The only thing I will say for the Prince and Princess of Wales and Kensington Palace, not that they watch me, but if they did watch me, I would say perhaps when it comes to releasing photographs in future, you leave the photoshopping to the professionals. But more importantly, I would say perhaps only share the photographs with the media agencies that did not join this witch hunt. So guys, that's it for me on this video. I will be back with you very soon where we will be talking about a beautiful speech by Sophie, a not so beautiful speech by Meghan, and also various other things that have been happening with the royal family. So take care and I will see you very soon. Bye.